Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. We have 8 games left, which is crazy to think about. This year has just absolutely flown by, and I feel like we're still in the process of, which, maybe that's not a good thing, but in February, we're still in a process of trying to find our momentum. The schedule has been challenging in terms of who we've played, and, we just played, the last 3 games we played were top 8, 3 in the top 8, and every time you put on the uniform, you want to win, and so we wanted to win those games, and so it's not like, oh yeah, but you're playing Oregon, or oh yeah, we compete to win, and so it's hard, but we feel good about our team right now. I think they're in a good spot, and we're getting better. We saw last night Oregon, kind of destroyed UConn at UConn. So it's awesome for our league. I think our league is just making such a statement nationally. 6 teams in the top, I think 18, and Arizona's rising, so we might have 5 in the top 10 when it's all said and done, which is so cool for the league. But tough to climb. So we are on the road this week at the Washingtons, which will be challenging. They're all tough, and so today's our day off, and start prepping tomorrow we play at UW on Friday, and then at Wazoo on Sunday, and then we come home for 4 games at home, which will be nice. So we play the Bay Areas the following week at home, and then the next week is the Arizonas at home. So that's kind of a stretch, and then we finish up at the LA school. So it's crazy that it's down the home stretch like that. I can't believe that it's already here. So we got to finish February tough and strong, and have some momentum going into the Pac-12 tournament.
When you're dealing with a roster that's so young, sometimes there can be a wall, especially now, late January, early February. Do you get a sense that there is any kind of wall, or are the kids still pretty much engaged and with it?
Yeah, that's a good question, because typically you do see that. And I haven't sensed it with these guys, and I think it's because I still feel like we're trying to gain some momentum. I don't know if and that's a little bit energizing. I think it's we're not into we haven't got into this rut of like, okay, game. I don't know. It's been a unique year that way in terms of the feel. I have not sensed that from the young guys at all, which is great. Knock on wood. I mean, February is a long month, but in a basketball season. But no, I haven't sensed that, which is good, because we need those guys to stay engaged and stay focused and stay hungry.
You've talked a lot about looking for that breakthrough moment, playing against so many tough teams. Have you seen that breakthrough moment, or are you still kind of looking for that?
Well, we haven't seen it in an outcome of a win against a top 10 team yet. We'll have more opportunities to do that. But no, I haven't seen it with the reward of a win against a top 10 team. But I have seen us get better. Unfortunately, everybody's getting better, So it's just kind of the high tide rises all ships, and I think everybody's getting better. No, I don't. I would say we've had a lot of good moments, and we've had some good wins. But I'm looking forward to when we hit that breakthrough moment against a top 10 team.
You mentioned the Oregon game last night. Teams generally don't go into Gamble and 1, beat UConn, and 2, really beat UConn like they did. Just what does that say about the relative strength of the Pac-12 right now, that the league's top team can go into Gamble and win like that?
Well, I think it's almost like a changing of the guard at this point. I think people in women's basketball. I think the majority of the writers and the interest in ESPN, it's all on the East Coast, and it's all very ACC, SEC focused. And so now, it's taken some legitimacy for these publications and all these people to kind of validate what the Pac-12 women's basketball as a conference is doing. So I think it's awesome, and I think it helps us all in recruiting. It helps us all in it's just like I said, a high tide rises all ships. I think it makes everybody better. But what Oregon did last night was incredibly impressive. They didn't just beat them. I mean, they controlled the game from the start to the finish, and I think everybody, that was a highly anticipated, circled match, nationally televised on ESPN. Like, everyone was looking forward to watching that. And I think everyone that watched that probably walked away like, wow, you know, Oregon's the real deal. And then there's teams in our league that have beat Oregon, and you know, like, but I think they're the best team in the country. I really do. When they play like that, they're the best team in the country. And but then, you know, then we've got Stanford, then we've got Oregon State, then we've got UCLA, then we've got Arizona State. Like, it's not just them, which I think is the coolest thing.
This is way off topic, but Ohio State had a men's player last week announced that he was taking a leave of absence to deal with
saw
some
that.
mental health
Yeah.
issues. My question to you is, as a coach, as a leader of young people, how has your job changed in the last few years as mental health concerns have come more to the forefront?
That's a great question. It's definitely a variable. It really is. And I think, you know, everybody has their own philosophies as to maybe why it's more of a variable. I don't know that there are less, you know, when I played in college, no one asked, you know, how you feeling? No one really cared. But that doesn't mean that there weren't people 20 years ago, 30 years ago that didn't have, you know, I think what comes first, chicken or the egg. But I think what's really neat is, or really important and crucial, and something that we have here at Utah is the support services for those. So while my job and leading young people and being aware of those things is very important for me to be tuned in, but I don't have to provide the help. I don't have to. I'm not qualified to do so anyway. So it's nice that that we have those resources, and we've got a staff that is genuinely in tune with each one of our athletes, which is awesome. But it certainly has become more common, and it's something that as a coach you have to be very, very in tune with. You know, and I think that's a discussion, you know, for over a long time to figure out kind of why is this more prevalent. But it's very much a factor and things we got to be aware of. All right, thanks.